All right, let's dive right into this explainer. Today, we're exploring how Bengali folklore uses the setting of night to evoke diametrically opposed physical and psychological reactions. You see, nighttime isn't just a time of day in these stories, it's an active, breathing character. On one hand, it represents the ultimate sanctuary, this place of deep healing and incredible sensory beauty. But on the other hand, it's the absolute abyss, literally a canvas for forbidden rituals and the most terrifying depths of human greed. We're going to look at two distinct pieces of source material today that perfectly capture this extreme duality. So think about this for a second. When the sun dips below the horizon and the world goes completely dark, what does that darkness actually give us? Does the night bring you a restful surrender? A moment where the world finally stops demanding things from you? Or does that very same darkness strip away all your defenses, leaving you totally vulnerable to unspeakable horrors fueled by human greed? Keep this question in the back of your mind as we go through today's folklore, because it really forces us to choose between these two realities. We are taking a pretty intense narrative arc today. We'll start off by getting lost in dreamland. It's this incredibly soothing, sensory-rich journey drawing from folklore that's specifically designed to calm the mind. But then, we take a very sharp drop, straight into terror, examining a chilling story where the night transforms into a cursed, supernatural reality. It is quite literally a journey from the softest dreams to the absolute darkest nightmares. Act 1. Peaceful Sleep of the Silver River. Picture this. You're in a village called Chayabithi, entirely cut off from the modern rush. As you sit on the soft grass by the sparkling waters of the Silver River, a cooling breeze sweeps past you. The ancient Krishnachura and Radashura trees sway above, and they're actively whispering to you. As the old stories say, now everything is quiet, time to sleep. The natural world here has just one single purpose, to lull your mind and gently coax you into letting go of all your worldly exhaustion and anxiety. It's almost like a step-by-step guide to finding perfect peace. First, you're grounded on a soft grass bed, right by the riverbank. Then, surrounded by this massive ancient banyan tree, hundreds of fireflies begin a slow, golden dance. Their light flickers in the air, which, by the way, is filled with the incredibly sweet scent of shuli and hasnahina flowers. And finally, you step into a small wooden boat that simply floats on its own, gently rocking you past sleeping forests as shooting stars signal that your day's work is totally done. It is absolute perfect peace. Act 2, the terrifying proposal of greed. Well, actually, scratch that peaceful image, because the night isn't always for sleeping. On a dark, rainy evening, two corpse rescuers named Shahabuddin and Motin receive a truly terrifying proposal from a total stranger. The reward? Just consider the sheer weight of this number, 1 lakh taka. That's 50,000 upfront and 50,000 upon completion. To fetch a mystery corpse from a ruined jungle mansion at midnight, that's complete madness. Yet the intense greed for this life-changing fortune absolutely blinds them. They push aside all their fear and cross a dangerous line where there is simply no going back. Act 3. Human Sacrifice and the Cursed Portal. So deep inside this ruined, vine-covered mansion, they actually find the body. It's a young woman. Her eyes are gouged out, her tongue is severed, yet, bizarrely, she is wearing completely untouched, expensive gold jewelry. But the most chilling part? There is a freshly bleeding triangle carved deeply into her chest. This brings their associate, the gravedigger Hanan Mia, to a horrifying realization. Norboli. Human sacrifice. The untouched wealth and mutilated body prove this is a dark ritual. Her corpse has been transformed into a living portal to summon an ancient demonic plague right into our reality. Realizing the apocalyptic stakes here, it becomes a frantic race against time to seal this portal before things spiral completely out of control. The folklore lays out strict ancient defenses they have to follow. First, bind the corpse with iron chains to repel evil entities. Second, sprinkle salt chanted with protective mantras all around the grave. And third, and this is the absolutely critical rule, the body must be buried deep underground before the very first light of dawn touches the sky. As they are desperately trying to execute these ancient defenses, the suspense reaches a boiling point. Motin is guarding the body in the pitch black when suddenly that carved triangle on the corpse's chest begins to pulse with this glowing red light. This is the ultimate signal. From the dark jungle surrounding the graveyard, silent figures emerge. Masked cultists, armed with sharp weapons, their eyes burning like fire in the dark. These are the demon's worshippers, arriving in perfect, eerie silence to reclaim their living portal. Our gravediggers are completely surrounded. Act 4. The ultimate consequence of a mistake. Surrounded by these fiery-eyed cultists, Moten is literally staring death in the face. But amidst all of this, his eyes lock onto an expensive stone locket on the dead woman's neck. Completely blinded by greed, he reaches down and tears it right off. And then, a rapid, terrifying disaster unfolds second by second. In 1 second, the protective seal breaks. At 5 seconds, suffocating black smoke violently pours out of the corpse. By 10 seconds, that smoke completely engulfs the masked cultists, burning them alive instantly before forming a massive, horrific, demonic entity. All of this, absolute destruction, caused entirely by one man breaking a holy seal for a piece of jewelry. The source text describes the sensory horror of this moment so vividly. The air is just filled with deafening screams and the sickening smell of burning flesh. And amidst this total nightmare, the massive demon turns its glowing, burning red eyes directly onto Moten. Why? Because the stolen locket, the key to its binding, is sitting right there in Moten's pocket. Moten is struck by a terrifying physical paralysis. His limbs go completely numb. He desperately wants to throw the locket away, to just give it back, but his body absolutely refuses to move. His greed has literally paralyzed him in the face of absolute evil. Act 5. The invisible doors around us. Okay, so just as the demon is about to strike, the first light of dawn breaks across the eastern sky. The entity lets out a deafening shriek and vanishes into thin air. Daylight banishes the dark, and Shahabuddin and Hanan Mia miraculously survive. But Muradin, he's gone, dragged straight into the darkness with a bloody triangle carved into his own chest. You see, his greed didn't just end one ritual. By breaking the seal, he allowed the darkness to claim him. He's now been transformed into an obedient servant of the underworld, and his new purpose is to arrange new sacrifices and open new doors. The cycle continues. Which brings us to the really haunting conclusion drawn directly from this folklore. It leaves us with such a provocative question. We started with the night as a peaceful escape, right? A silver river of dreams. But we end here questioning the unseen dangers lurking in the dark, fueled entirely by everyday human greed. Are there invisible doors waiting to be opened right around us, just waiting for someone greedy enough to break the seal? Think about that tonight when the sun goes down and the world goes quiet.